Hey, Todd Barton here from the Barton Group, and today we kind of want to talk about a recent real estate transaction that we facilitated. I don't even know what the right word is. Like it took a little while.
It took 5 years.
Wait, what?
Exactly.
What? It took 5 years to transact one real estate transaction.
It did. And I had some people on my team say, why are you still working with them?
So you're the culprit. You're the one that took so long.
I am the slow mover.
Yeah, and yeah, absolutely. So here's what happened. We had a seminar one day, 6 years ago.
Actually, it was before the seminar, and I got them. We were doing phone calls from 5 to 7 with bottles of wine.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
I see where we're headed.
So I got you almost drunk and you're making phone calls. Okay.
And they said they wanted to buy a house, and I said, great. Let's do it. I didn't realize it was going to take me half a decade.
That was the beginning of raise their children.
Yeah.
We actually know their children pretty well.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
They've been to every client appreciation party we've had, our trunk or treats, our movie theaters.
So this is a true built relationship before you ever sold them a house.
Oh, and not only that, in the very beginning, and it lasted more than just the very beginning, was we had to help them with their credit so that they could qualify for down payment assistance and whatnot. So, and there was only one breadwinner in the family, and so money was always tight, and right when we get super close to being qualified, something would happen to where they'd have to spend money and fly back east to do a family thing. So then we have to start over.
Yes.
Oh
So,
my.
unfortunately, in this process, there were 2 different relatives that passed away, and they were forced to fly back east for funerals. And they just kept digging into their ability to actually buy something. But what I think is interesting is, you're a big proponent of this little city outside of Vegas that's about 45 minutes away. That I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just saying it's not a place I'm going to live. But Pahrump, right? Pahrump.
I think Pahrump answers the questions for a lot of different real estate people or people that want to get a home or whatever. If they're struggling here, the answer is probably over the hill.
Yeah, so over the hill, it's a little easier to buy a home over there because the competition's lower, price points are a bit lower. You can get more for the money, more bang for the buck, as people will say.
Exactly.
So you've sold quite a few properties in Pahrump.
I like Pahrump. I'm going back out there again this week to look at property. I have a person up in Sacramento that wants to sell there, come down here and retire out there. So.
Oh nice. And I actually have a friend who lives in Pahrump right now. I'm going to go meet with them next week. And they are going to move from Pahrump to Henderson.
Yeah.
So Kathy, meet Wally. Wally, meet Kathy. You have a buyer, she has a seller.
Oh my goodness, it's going to work
See how real
out
estate
just
works?
right.
It's crazy. It's just crazy. So, but you've sold several homes out there to
Yes.
many of your clients.
Yes.
You seem to attract the Pahrump crowd. I don't know what.
I
I don't know why
know
that is.
I don't know what it is either. My second deal in real estate was out there.
Was
Pahrump. Remember, it was the lady was selling the property next door to her home, and she was using that as an Airbnb for people that would come in from Europe and want to go to Death Valley.
Got it. That's right. And she was a for sale by owner.
Correct.
It wasn't listed on MLS,
Right.
and so you found it another way. Went knocked on the door and said, "Hey, I got a buyer that might be interested, and let's see if we can put a deal together." So not only do you sell houses out there, but you actually work hard to do it.
Yeah.
Drive out there, knock on doors, talk to people that really
Yeah,
may or may not want to sell.
not just around the corner. I see maybe a retirement home in your future out there.
Well, I wouldn't be opposed to it. It's a growing little town, and I've been in Vegas so long on a local. Wasn't born here, but I've been here long enough to be a local, and it reminds me of old Las Vegas. It really does.
Mm-hmm.
When I first moved here in the early 70s, there was only 200,000 people here.
Oh my.
Are you suggesting he needs to retire? That's what I
No.
heard. When you said that,
No,
I heard
I
maybe
just
he.
I just see that maybe. I just see that maybe in your future. Maybe you'll reside out there and commute to Vegas to the office
Are
here.
you saying something about my age?
No, because I'm right there with you.
All right, so tell us a little bit about your clients that took 5 years. Like what would that process look like? Why did it take 5 years?
Well, first of all, they're a great family. I love those people. They're just super good people. Their kid is a great little kid. Anyway, so when we first met, we got to talking, and I found out I needed to help them with credit. So which we do that with all of our clients.
Yeah, so their credit wasn't at a level where they could even think about buying
Right.
5 years ago. And so you had to help them fix their credit.
And we do that for free,
Yeah, it didn't
okay,
cost
as
anything,
long as it takes.
obviously.
And they would get right there, then something would happen and they'd drop down a couple points and we'd have to get them right back up there again. And then through time, what started to happen was the home prices were climbing faster than they could save money. And every house they liked, and we'd go see it, this was a couple years ago when the market was really crazy. We'd go see it and there'd be multiple offers and it would go higher than what they could do before we'd even get to the property. It was that crazy.
It
Yeah,
just
so-
kept getting shot down.
Well, back then, their competition was multiple people trying
Right.
to buy the property. So people were paying over list price for the property, right? And yeah, they would just they couldn't pay over appraised value because they just had enough money saved up to buy. So yeah, they just kept getting priced out of the market or pushed out of the market a little bit.
And then I would find something where it was in their price range, but then again, it would go up due to all the other buyers coming in, and it would go over their price range. Like we found new construction, and then by the time the new construction was built, even though they advertised, okay, we can get you in under 300,000, it was over 300,000.
Yeah, so what happened was you found a development that hadn't started being built yet. And so we got them on the wait list. You signed them up, and they loved them.
Oh,
I actually
nice.
got them number 2 on a wait list.
Yeah.
That's
Wasn't anybody
amazing.
going to beat them out?
No.
Well, the only thing that beat them out is it took the builder so long to start the project that their initial pricing was way off. And so they waited around for, I think, 6 or 7 months at that point. They were on the waiting list. They were number 2. There's no way they couldn't get one of these homes. And then 7 months later, bam, the price is too high. They couldn't qualify, and we're out looking again.
So when did they actually purchase?
Literally 2 months ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so they live there now about a month and a half.
And at first they didn't really want to do Pahrump in the very beginning. But then what it was starting to look like as far as what they could afford was not something they liked here. So we started to look at Pahrump, and the more they looked, the more they liked it. They loved the amount of land they got. They got a little over an acre.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They're not in a manufactured home. They're in a single family residence. And they are just so happy, it's unbelievable.
The house they bought, which is interesting, which you cannot do in the valley here. The house they bought it's actually 2 houses. Like somebody took half of the house and converted it to its own little like apartment-ish kind of
Right.
thing. So there's actually 2 residences on the same slab, the same house.
Right.
And they
That's
got the side
interesting.
that they live in, and they got this other side that I guess someday they'll rent out, or
Or maybe the son will, when he gets older, he can live there.
yeah, or the husband will live there when he's
In the
not,
doghouse.
not allowed to live in the other
Yeah.
house.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Pahrump was a solution for them,
It
ultimately.
was. And the more they looked at it, the more they fell in love with it. And then I went out to visit them, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, just to say hi and check in on them. And we got to talking, and Robert, the husband, said that the drive to his work is actually shorter from Pahrump to his work than it was from where they lived in Las Vegas to his work.
Takes them less time to get there.
Yeah, because it's a straight shot with
Right.
with no streetlights. In Las
Less
Vegas,
traffic.
you know, you got to deal with all the traffic and whatnot.
Yeah. Interesting, because they were living way out on the east side of town. And
Northeast,
I think he's working somewhere in the southwest, right?
yeah.
So yeah, that's a direct shot right from where he lives. So another happy client in Pahrump, another solution to a housing difficulty that people have. If I remember correctly, I think in the last couple of years you've sold 5 or 6 homes out there, and
Yeah.
so your knowledge of Pahrump is definitely growing. You know quite a bit about what's out there and what not to do. And I mean, we have people call all the time and go, "Hey, I want to talk to Wally because I'm thinking about Pahrump," and so the word's getting out there, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and I like it, and I like the area, so
Yeah.
I
So-
enjoy going out there.
I guess have you started deciding what part of town you're going to retire in based on Kathy's?
I have some criteria.
Okay. So he is thinking about it.
It's crossed his
Yeah,
mind.
you weren't just joking. He's actually thinking about it. All right. Anything else we should know about Pahrump? Anything new going on out there that we haven't ever
Well, they're
mentioned?
building. You know, they have new construction out there. They are slowly but surely getting bigger.
Yeah. I was looking, have a client who called, or a customer who called us from Hawaii who owns a piece of property out there, and he wanted to know, should I sell it? What should I do with it? It's 1.1 acres. It's out kind of west of town a little bit, where there's lots of these 1 acre properties that are all together on the streets out there.
But undeveloped.
Undeveloped, yes, just dirt. There's lots of developed stuff out there, but his lot happens to be just dirt.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some out there 1 acre lots out there with utilities for $30,000, $35,000, pretty cheap.
Very cheap
Yeah, I
compared
mean,
to Las
you
Vegas.
can go out there, you could build a really nice house on there and still be under 250,000 for a nice place on a
Nice.
1 acre. So, yeah, Pahrump is definitely a solution. Pahrump is it's going to be growing over time, and people are moving out there for lots of different reasons, and people love it. It's crazy to me,
Well,
but people love it.
I lived in California for a long time, and the thought of driving for 60 minutes is a given in California.
Yeah. See, I'm born and raised in Vegas, so I'm spoiled. Like, if I have to drive like 30 minutes to get somewhere, I'm not going. It's just too far. I've always been everything, Vegas is interesting because it's built in like what I would call little pods. Like if you live in the southwest part of town, literally everything that you need is in the southwest part of town.
In a 5-mile radius.
Yeah, you don't have to go to Summerlin, right? And if you live in Summerlin, everything that you need is in Summerlin. You don't have to go to Green Valley. Green Valley, you don't have to go to Aliante, right? It's like little pods all over town. So I'm spoiled, right? Like if I got to go more than 15, 20 minutes, it's like, I'm not even sure we really want to go or not because it's just too far. But yeah, living in California, absolutely, driving 45 minutes to an hour was the norm.
It was.
If you didn't have to drive that far, you were pretty lucky.
And that wasn't based on miles, it was based on traffic.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
absolutely.
literally minutes.
On a 16-lane highway.
Yeah.
How about Oklahoma?
No people.
Go Sooners.
It's still there's traffic, but you're talking about a long distance in between each destination. There's lots of grass, lots of
So
trees.
how long does it take me to go eat dinner if I'm living in Oklahoma?
15 minutes.
Yeah, see, it's like the old Vegas, right? I mean, you can
Right.
just get across town in 10 minutes and it's no big deal. Now it literally takes 45 minutes to get from one side of town to the other side
Right.
of town.
I like living in my little 5-mile radius.
Yeah,
Where
yeah, so do I.
everything is there, from shopping to restaurants to gym to everything.
Yeah.
It's right there. To
all
school to everything.
Everything you need. All right, so if you're interested in looking in Pahrump, check in with my guy Wally. Seems to really know quite a bit about it out there, and he's really helping them grow in a positive way.
I'll be in touch.
All right, cool.